Joe Dorf keeps joking that he wants us to clean sweep the podium. And if you joke about something enough, sometimes you can manifest it.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Gary Word Trail Running Podcast, Episode 8 we've got here for you today, and Section 8 of the GPT, which is the Grampians Peaks Trail. Just love to acknowledge traditional custodians where we are, the Djabwurrung and Jawajali people, and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. I will actually just also mention our intro music was by Beetroot and the Nang Nangs. Some upbeat music to get us going. They're a 9-piece band, they're local. Follow them on Facebook and get around some local music. We're sans Mark today, actually.
Where is Mark?
Who even knows? We've lost him.
He's up a hill.
He's up a hill somewhere. Bit out of character. So it's me and Pat today running the show. Mark's left us with the keys to the bus. We're actually here at the single track GPT training camp weekend. But we do have the most amount of special guests we've had to date. I think one being the previous record, so we're just giving you a triple dose. Shall I let you guys introduce yourselves?
I reckon a good starting point would be, what event did you last do in the GPT and how did you end up?
I'm Joe, and last year I ran the stage race, and the year before I ran the full miler, and now I think I've run the full GPT 4 times at least now. So that's my experience, and we're all from Tassie as well. I guess that's the only special thing about us.
Yeah, I'm Justin. I've run the GPT miler 1 and 90% times now, so pretty much twice. Got really fascinated with the event once we heard about it. Got really excited about doing it. Like Joe, I've been over here a few times for training camps and love it.
Last and probably least, I'm Ziggy. I came here in 2023 and paced Joe on the night shift, the graveyard shift for the miler. But that was a 50k pacing job that I thought might be 8 hours, but blew out to about 13 and a half. And then last year in 2024, I came back, tackled the stage race again with Joe, and we had a pretty nail-biting competition for the next to podium position of 4th.
Battle for 4th.
And unfortunately, he got me there, so relegated to 5th position. And this year signed up for the full miler, so pretty excited for that.
Fantastic. So are all three of you doing the full miler this year?
Yeah, all three of us.
Fantastic. And you didn't mention, Justin, your finishing spot last year when the race was called. You were coming 3rd.
Yeah, 3rd male. So, yeah, 4th overall. Sure. Lucy was well ahead of me, but...
Yeah, such a strong finish, if I remember the results correctly.
Yeah, I was feeling good at that point. So, yeah, who knows what would have happened, but just keen to come back this year and rewrite it.
Might just open up a couple of questions to the group. Hey, first up, you've all run around this area a bit, but you've also done plenty of running in other places. I'm assuming most of your training's in Tassie.
Yep.
But what's different about this area?
I think the rock and the technicality.
Yep.
Like, we've got a lot of rocks and technical stuff in Tassie, but we talk about like trying to find stuff to train on that's similar, and we struggle to find it.
I haven't done much running in Tassie, but I assume that there's heaps of technical stuff there, but it strikes me as wetter.
Yeah, a lot more roots, puddles,
sure,
such things. But the slabby nature of the rock out here is quite rare in Tasmania. We don't have these sandstony sort of outcrops.
So if you are trying to train for this terrain, what are you guys doing when you're down in Tassie to try and get ready for it?
Yeah, I think a lot of the basic stuff is still quite similar. Like, still try and get the same sort of ratio of vert in your training weeks, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I do think that, there's no replacement for actually getting out on the track and getting that sense of exactly what it's going to be like. So I think for Joe and myself and also Ziggy this last year, just, getting the chance to come over here and really experience it has been a big part of it. And then with that sort of knowledge in mind, definitely trying to match some of the vert, or at least the ratios, and then as much as you can find stuff that's technical and challenging underfoot, I think is something that we try to do. So
we just try and find the rockiest, roughest tracks on Kanani near our front door, and then we'll go out there and run it by head torch or something. That's what we would doing laps of the same rooty, rocky course in the night.
It sounds amazing, though, the Kunyani Trail. Like, I'm so keen to get over there. And I don't know, I've heard this around the trails have ears here, and there has been reports that there's some sort of syndicate going on. Is there any truth to this sort of thing that might give you some sort of unfair advantage on race day in 2025?
Well, it was my idea because I'm too tight to pay for a coach. And I self-coach, but I find that it's hard to stay accountable when I'm a self-coaching athlete. It's hard to make myself do the hard workouts, and so we've got together and we've got what are we calling it? A coaching syndicate. We're all coming together and talking about what we're going to do, and then we've got the tongue-in-cheek title of the Podium Syndicate.
Oh,
because Joe Dolph keeps joking that he wants us to clean sweep the podium, and if you joke about something enough, sometimes you can manifest it. One of us has already stood there before, so you never know.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, we decided just to get together and just hold each other accountable with our training, and provide a place where we can each post our training for the week, what we're intending to do, and then have someone else around to hold us accountable to that is really useful.
Yeah, we've got a monthly meet-up scheduled in, and we had one last month in May now, where we presented our long-range training plans, each one of us, and sort of just got a bit of a vibe of how we were going to tackle the year. So it's good to go through this process from now, which is 6 months out almost, or a bit less now, towards the race, and sort of keep track of each other. We've got a weekly check-in as well on Discord, where we sort of post our stats, how we're feeling, any injuries and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's a cool little system.
It's so good. Like, when you came up with your individual training plans, were they much different between the three of you?
I think there's definitely some similarities. We all follow a bit of Jason Coop's methodology. So, we all kind of like the idea of sort of a block-style training plan, sort of starting off with training our weaknesses and training the things that are least specific to the race first off. And then as we move closer to the event, sort of ramping up the volume and really trying to get things as close to race conditions as we can.
I love it. It's different and provides that accountability, I suppose. You're each sort of looking over each other's shoulders. Is it just the three of you in there, or can anyone join?
We've got a fourth member. Michael Smith.
There's an ulterior motive to his inclusion.
Yeah,
I think it's highly exclusive.
It is quite exclusive, but potentially my pacer is also my potential pacer.
He was unconfirmed pacer, so Justin thought if we get him in this group,
that way he won't
be able to resist becoming a pacer.
Any favourite parts of the Gary Word trails that you guys have?
I think it's all pretty special, to be honest. But I think for me, as challenging as the Mount William section is, I really love that section. So particularly across the Major Mitchell Plateau, I think that's one. So when I've been reflecting on my races the last few years, I've had different experiences both times there. But it stands out as a really special place, particularly just being up there at night. And then the times that I've done it through training, it does remind me a little bit of Alpine Tassie in a way as well. So I think for me, just bounding across those rocks on that big sort of plateau is a really special place. So
it's probably my favourite bit too, because it's the crux of it. It's the wildest feeling bit, and in the miler it's in the middle of the night, so it's just gnarly and wild.
You're feeling pretty hardcore when you're out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Ziggy, bit of a question for you. You mentioned in the intro that your 8-hour pacing job went out to what did it get out to?
Oh, it was almost 14 hours, I think. 13 and a half, yeah.
Now, that's not an unfamiliar story with trail runners, but now you've gone from that to signing up for the full miler. Yeah, what's going through your head there?
I haven't thought about it too much, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But I've got a bit more of an appreciation for how slowly you do move across this terrain sometimes when you put in so much effort, but you're not actually traversing that far because of so many ups and downs. And especially that first year in 2023, the conditions were quite remarkable. We had that whiteout sideways mist, mountain mist or fog, whatever you want to call it, going up Mount William. And it was lucky that as a pacer, I bought a hand torch.
Ah, cool.
Because we found with the head torches that we had during the night, it was almost like driving through snow or something like that. We got a bit of motion sickness, and you couldn't actually discern what was happening ahead of you. But the hand torch really helped us because it could penetrate through that fog. Even so, it just felt like almost never ending because you can't see ahead more than 30 or 40 metres, and it was just continuous rock slab. Yeah, it keeps going.
We've actually been going through the GPT section by section, and today we're talking about section 8, which starts at Jimmy Creek Road. So just after you get off the plateau, you've got Jimmy Creek Road. Section 8 starts there and goes to Yarram Gap Road. It is probably one of the most disliked sections of trail. I've actually grown to like it after doing it a few times and sort of like the challenge, but this section is known for its massive boulder field. Stat-wise, this is 11 k's long. There's 580 metres of vert gain, so still quite a bit, and 560 of vert drop. A lot of the vert gain is at the very start, so at the very start you've got about 2 kilometres where you just pick up, say, 300 metres, and you think, cool, I'm at the top of the ridge, the hill's done. Then you get hit by the boulder field, which different people have different feelings about. How do you guys, do you remember what you last did when you hit it?
Yeah, I think it's an underestimated section. Like you come off that Mount William section, you're expecting a reprieve because it's only 11 k's and it's 580. It doesn't sound that bad, but then you hit the boulder field and it is kind of that bad. But the climb, it's a well-graded climb at least. It's not technical, so in some ways it's like a nice change of terrain. So I don't mind it that much. I think it's just something different, something less gnarly, and you know that you don't have to go as far to the next aid station. And I like clambering on boulders.
Yeah, I had 2 very different experiences there over the last 2 years of the race. My first year, that was my absolute low point. So yeah, coming off the Mount William section into Jimmy Creek, I blew my quads out completely, and I was, spent a lot of time at the aid station there, summoning up the energy to get moving again, and I was struggling to hold any sort of run form. So by the time I got to that boulder field, it was the kind of point where all my time goals were slipping away, so I definitely did not enjoy it that year. But last year, I think it was a chance to sort of see how much I'd improved over the years, because I kind of got there and was able to move decently through it and sort of keep going. So the first year, it was just a struggle to lift my legs enough to sort of scramble across any of the boulders, and I was just lowering myself down a heap of them.
To add to that, I think it won't be the same this year, but for the first year and last year for the full miler, the time of day that you're at that section, typically the grunt of the pack, is kind of early morning on that second day.
Yeah.
And I have fond memories of getting to that aid station and then myself and Joey just brushing our teeth to attack the day, and then we got maybe 100 metres up trail and he cracked a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Which sounds like the most disgusting thing. Yeah.
I think that's how you get it to go straight to the enamel.
That's right. But yeah, that climb up is actually quite runnable if you've got the legs, because it's not too rocky. It's got a nice sandy base to it, and you think you are going to smash through this 11 k's in no time at all, but then you do hit that scree field, and you're traversing around the left-hand side to begin with, and you get over the next saddle and, oh, yep, we're done now, but no, you're not. You've still got a bit more to go, and it's on the other side of the mountain now, so both edges of your legs get a workout.
Yeah, and for context, it's like we're now talking that you've gone through over 100 kilometres of racing, so no one's feeling fresh at this stage, which is worth noting that, you've got to go over these boulder fields, which takes some work. It's really slow going. It's kind of aggravating.
I will say it's a different experience in the stage race to the miler though. I had a great time coming through there on the stage race on the third day and fairly flogged legs. I think I was running up that climb, but that was the day when Ziggy and I were battling for fourth and fifth when I'd finally decided to make my move, so I was locking in and it was fun.
Phil, you did this section in 2023 when we did the team stage relay, and I think you found the same. The stats didn't quite add up to the final time because of the boulder field. How did you find it when you're going at it flat out?
Yeah, so I pulled the short straw and did this leg in the team stage relay. So I was sort of starting this leg with fresh legs and was meant to give an 11 kilometre section a fair crack, which I was pretty excited about. I was 11 k's racing, let's go. And yeah, the boulder fields I found really, really, as I said, aggravating. It just got annoying, and it just goes on for ages. So you're just sitting there trundling over these rocks and trying to get some speed in, trying to figure out if you're losing pace on other people or if you're getting ahead, who knows. So then you get to the end of this boulder field.
We're missing our resident co-host who knows the most about the flora.
Yeah.
Certainly when you are on the boulder field, you're sort of getting towards the end of it where you come back up to the ridge, and if you look to your left, you'll notice that there is one species of tree across the whole hill. I might have to phone a friend to find out what that species of tree is. It's quite spectacular there, because then if you look to the right of the track, you're looking up at this really cool red cliff escarpment on the right, and you've got a brilliant view looking straight west as well. It's definitely a nice grammable spot.
And then you've got a descent, which is like, sunshine coming through the clouds, I suppose. And you've got a nice descent down past Yarram campsite.
Which I think is one of the most scenic sort of campsites. Like, it's a bit unique.
Is that the one that's almost like an amphitheatre? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And you sort of come over the trail and you're looking down at the campsite, and the campsite's looking out west. It feels very enclosed, but you've still got this beautiful view looking across at the Serra range.
Yeah, because all those campsites they've got along the GPT are fantastic. You get little decks that you can put your tent on, but this one specifically, like all the decks jut out of the mountain a little bit, and good place to camp.
After the hiker camp, then you've got this gravelly downhill, which is a little bit loose underfoot, but yeah, it's very runnable. Like, you can really pick up the pace down the gravel.
So I was trying to race that leg. Yeah, finally got to the end of the boulders and was like, far out, I'm losing so much time here. Like, I've got to be one of the slowest on this course. So then as I hit the gravelly bit and started going downhill, I was like, all right, I've got to pay the piper. Let's get going. And I started fanging, absolutely flying down this. And because I'm only doing 11 Ks, zero regard for my quads or my own personal safety. But I did manage to get that crown on that segment.
What segment's that? What's the name of it?
Descent past Yarram.
Descent past Yarram. Okay. And
you shouldn't mention these things with Justin in the chat. He's got like a hit list.
I think he's already gone. He's gone out to get it now.
Justin has got some very handy downhill crowns throughout the GPT. Didn't go unnoticed. It's definitely been mentioned in a few other episodes for sure. Maybe we'll get onto the Strava times for this segment, but I'll just quickly, as far as the trail walkthrough goes, that downhill goes for about 250 metres until I think there's a creek down the bottom. It's about at the 8K mark, and then you've got 100 metres up, which you shouldn't underestimate because like it is pretty hard work, this segment, and you've got a lot in your legs. Yeah, so that 100 metres up and then a couple of Ks to get back to Yarram Gap Road.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of Strava titles. We've got Artemis the Huntress. It's got the full segment for the women. And then Oscar Buck. Yeah, he's another Tassie boy.
Another Tassie, yeah.
He was one of the guys from the orienteering crew that we were racing against that year. We've mentioned them a few times. They're the people who've got the crowns on the whole segment.
And Artemis the Huntress, it's a super impressive time because overall that's actually the fourth time. So Oscar's got 106. Phil, you're a number 2 overall, 118. And then Aditya, who did the solo stage last year, incredibly impressive, 122. And then Artemis with 124. Pretty impressive times. But yeah, the top 2 were definitely taking advantage of the fact it's just that's the leg for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, there was fresh legs from us too. So I think the most impressive of those times is Artemis the Huntress, and then Aditya. He would have been on day three of running the stage race.
Yeah, it was very hot,
and managed a really impressive time, and had another day to go after that. Aditya also took out the win that year for the stage race.
The other thing I wanted to mention, if people want to do it as a training run, there is a way you can loop that section, and it's a little bit tricky because the return road is not well used at all. But if you, say, park at Jimmy Creek Campground, you can take Jimmy Creek Road up to where the GPT crosses it and head south, same direction as you would run the GPT in the event, get all the way down to Yarram Gap Road, and then you can take Yarram Gap Road back to Grampians Road, and you'll have to put this in your watch before you head out. You can actually take the Ingleton track that intersects with Grampians Road right near Yarram Gap Road. And Ingleton track is like a almost disused four-wheel drive track, but it's not too gnarly elevation-wise. It might just be a bit gnarly tree and overgrowth-wise. But the important thing to have it in your watch for is because it continues well past Jimmy Creek Campground. So you just need to know when to turn off so you can get back to your car.
Now, boys, you've learned some lessons in your time running ultramarathons and this sort of stuff. Tell us a little bit about how you set up gear. You got any tips, especially running out here? Do you change anything for this area?
I make my own powders, and that sort of works, but sometimes doesn't work. So still trying to work that out, and I'm still trying to work out how to deal with hydration. I learnt last year that I can drink way more than I ever thought I could. Yeah. Because it can get really hot in this event, as we found out, and it could still do it again this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. I really don't know what you do with shoes on this course, because it's like How do you make your feet survive on that?
You almost need to size up half a size sometimes, so you've got a bit of space for your toes and they don't just get jammed up on those descents, don't you?
Yeah. The rock ruins your sole of your shoe, and then it ruins the foot that's inside your shoe. But
Just ruins your soul in general, I think.
I think you definitely need at least a couple of different models of shoe for the 100 miler, because if one's not working, you want something else.
I think it's really hard to find that compromise between stability and stack on this course. I think I tend to go lower stack, but I definitely paid for it in the miler. Like, my feet were not doing well at 115 k's in.
There's just so much cambered rock, and it makes your foot slide to the side of your shoe and jam up in there, and you want a tighter shoe to stop your foot sliding around, but a tighter shoe comes with trade-offs.
Yeah, for me, I don't do too much different with gear than I would on a normal run in Tassie, but definitely I just try to make sure that I'm training with the same shoe that I'm going to do on race day well in advance, and then just when I'm sort of getting closer and closer, I just sort of think of all my training long runs as just preparing for the event, just practicing with all the gear, keeping all the stuff in the same pockets, and just trying to hit those nutrition goals all the way from the start, just to make it as standard as I can when I'm actually out on track.
For us Tassie boys, coming from obviously like a sub-Antarctic climate down there, we last year prepared with a lot of heat adaptation training, which is pretty important up here for us for the race in November, but can't imagine running in February or something like that out here. You'd really need to know what you're on about. So we actually, myself and Joe, built a sauna last year. We did a lot of sauna sessions just before the event to try and build up a bit of heat tolerance.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
I think that did help out a bit, but it's hard to know the counterfactual, you know. But for people from Melbourne and down south, the heat adaptation's a big one.
Oh, that's fantastic. No, thanks, guys, and thanks for joining us. Very generous with your time. You know, we've all been for a nice big run this morning, so you can get back to getting some nutritious food in you, and maybe a couple of beers later. And thanks to anyone listening out there. If you want to keep in touch, jump on the Instagram. Can't tell you how good a resource the Gary Word Trail Running Instagram is. If you're coming out here from anywhere surrounding, get out in the trails, go for a run, get lost, and enjoy the beautiful place. And the trails around here is more than just the GPT. It's there are trails for days. They just keep going and going. Check out the Instagram and Facebook for Gary Word Trail Running. And also, there's a regular Friday run every Friday morning. If you want to come and push yourself, you're more than welcome. If you want to come for a walk and explore, you can do that. And there's coffee at the end as well, which is great. Tons of really friendly people. So that's every Friday morning. But there are also ad hoc runs during the week as well.
Was that Mark?
Lovely old English motorbike going past us. Next up, we've got section 9 for episode 9. From Yarram Gap Road, it heads across the valley to the Sarah Range, ends at the Griffin Fire Line. So join us for that. We'll have another special guest. That's us for today.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks to the Podium Syndicate for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to catching you again in November.
Cheers.